I'm a hustler, baby.
It's time for Hustle Her Podcast. I'm your host, Deshae Keynes. Hustle Her is all about inspiring women through real life experiences that have helped to mold and develop not only me, but my guests into the entrepreneurs and leaders we are today. If you're an enterprising woman determined to succeed and looking for a bit of motivation, a bit of tough love, and some actionable takeaways to be the best you, girl, you are in the right place. Hey guys, and welcome back to the podcast. I thank you so much for listening today and taking the time out to be with me. As always, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you like this episode. Head over to the website, hustleherpodcast.com. Make sure you sign up for our VIP list so you can get all of our episodes ahead of time, as well as some of the cool things that our sponsors give away. My next guest has taken Bermuda by storm with her amazing brand, Dove and Butterfly. Please help me welcome the amazing Shi-Vaughn Lee. Hi, lovely.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You taking the time out on this lovely Sunday.
Yes.
I won't keep you too long.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So let's get people to get to know you a little bit better. We'll do some quick rapid fire questions. All right?
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Favorite animal?
I don't like animals.
At all?
At all. Terrified.
Not one?
Not one.
Not even a dog? Fish?
The dog's are the worst one. No,
There you go.
I don't like it. I
Okay.
don't like captivity and stuff. you know.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that. All right. Favorite
Yeah.
color?
Black. I know black's not a color, but
It is
black.
a color.
Yeah, black.
You have to, we're black. I'm
I like black.
I like black as a color. We're good. Who was your celebrity crush growing up?
Oh, Lord. I think everybody's was Chris Brown, no?
Yeah. Breezy. If you
Chris
made
Brown.
love.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do that. Yeah. I remember that. That first album was pretty dope. Like
Literally.
it was amazing. All right. What is your favorite food?
Shrimp tacos. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So like Taco Tuesdays, like your thing?
Yes. I don't cook much, but I do cook that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. What is your favorite show or movie?
Married to Medicine.
Favorite
I feel like I am a mixture of Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Jackie, like all three of them in one.
Okay, you had me until you said Dr. Heavenly. So, who's your favorite character?
Dr. Jackie
Really?
and Dr. Simone, yeah.
Dr. Simone's my favorite.
Yes, Dr.
Absolute
Simone.
favorite. She is authentically her
Yep.
every season without fail, and I absolutely love
Yep.
her. I
But
want her.
all three of them is like,
I'm good about Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly, I'm good.
she has her ways that I resonate with. Yes.
You came. I'm here for it. Okay, let's go. All right. What was your last impulse buy?
What did I buy? Probably this chain I have. This chain here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy jewelry too much, but
So you were just like, I have to have it. So you just got it.
yeah, I got that.
What's your favorite like go-to website for shopping? Like Amazon? Where do you go? Guilty pleasure shopping? Well, not guilty pleasure, but just like.
I don't really shop too much for myself.
What about for your son?
I don't shop for him at all.
Really?
Everybody buys everything. So, you know, I'm saving up for when he asks for stuff.
There
you
you
know?
go.
But, I mean, I just buy business stuff. I
Yeah,
don't really buy too much.
I get that.
Yeah,
And that can
most
be
of my money goes
exhausting.
on food.
Same.
I'm going to eat what I want to eat every day, every time. But I don't shop like
Do
that.
you use Sargasso?
I've used it once.
Just once?
Yeah, because I usually get food before I go home.
Okay.
Like on my way home or, yeah.
Okay. I feel bad now. Okay.
Why?
I use Sargasso a lot.
Well, I am always out.
Okay.
So I always pick up something on my way.
Okay. So that's
But I
not
have
bad.
used it once and my experience was good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And for those of you listening, Sargasso is like Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Or what is another one? Yeah, just like Uber Eats, like that. All right.
DoorDash.
And then, or DoorDash. There you go. All right. And then lastly, what is one thing that you wish you enjoyed more of
In general?
in general?
Well, I definitely enjoy sleep and I don't get to do it very much. But I wish I probably enjoyed reading more. I don't like to read. But I think I could benefit from reading.
I get that.
So I wish I did like to do that more.
Yeah. I try to factor it in. I try to put time in to read, like in the calendar, but then I'm just so tired sometimes the book kind of reads me.
And go to
So
sleep.
I'm not the best at it, but I do try to work it in as much as possible. Especially when I'm trying to learn about something, I try to try to read. All right. So we're going to jump right in.
Yep.
And like I said, very just you and me just chatting it up. Yeah. Nothing crazy. Cool. All right. So what did you want to be growing up? Like if you look back at your younger self, what was the goal in terms of career?
Well, I always wanted to be a doctor. I always said a dermatologist. So when I went to like school, that's what I did initially. But then it changed. Obviously, you want to get into acting. And I never saw myself being an entrepreneur though.
Never.
No, but I knew I wanted to live a certain type of life that I had seen.
Seen from
the
who?
Aries.
Okay, there you go.
What I mean?
I get it. That's what you were kind of thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you wanted to do that growing up. And then, so how did you change from the dermatology into what?
I went to law school because I wanted to act. So I was like, okay, when you come from a certain society, community, your idea of success is defined for you until you get to an age where you realize I can make this decision for myself. I'm not financially dependent on anybody to make decisions for me. And so I would say like it changed when I was in my last year of college. I said, okay, I'm going to go law school. They're paying for it. That's the plan B. And then after that, I literally got called and
that was it.
That was it. I saved all my money during my pupillage.
Really?
Literally, like I was struggling during my pupillage because my goal was to have as much money saved because I knew after that,
that was it.
I'm doing what I want to do.
So when you were saving away money, you knew after that was kind of like it. Did you have Dove and Butterfly in mind? Because during that time, you were still doing Bermudians Be Like, right?
I was. After I got called, I went to Atlanta for a few months before the pandemic because I wanted to be an actor. But then I realized I'm not about to be doing it this way. Like Hollywood's going to have to call me. You know what I mean? Or somehow set my own stage. Like I'm not going this route.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing Bermudians Be Like, and then came home and I'm doing nothing. The family wants their rent, right? And it was almost like they was forcing me or my hand back into something that I didn't want. But then the pandemic hit. Still, they didn't care. Like they didn't know how much money I had. They wanted what they wanted. Yeah. But it was good because the uncomfortableness like forced me to where I went. So Dove and Butterfly wasn't always in mind, but the lifestyle that I wanted was. Definitely. And how I was going to get there came about like towards the end of the pandemic.
Got you. So take me through Bermudians Be Like, because I actually forgot it until just now when I said that. And I was like, so walk me through how the idea of Bermudians Be Like came about.
So that was literally just me and my friend Naya. Like we just used to hang out always at my house. All my friends come over, just crack jokes. We just recorded it. And then put it out there and the response was what it was. And I was like, oh, this is like people like resonate with it. Let's do another one. Yeah. But it was never like at the outset, this is our plan to, nothing I do is that planned. Yeah. Like,
yeah. It just kind of worked out that way. So then pandemic hits, it's now on the back end of the pandemic and Dove and Butterfly. How did that morph?
So when I got back, I got into real estate, but that was because I wanted to do like another business idea. So I met with a realtor and I ended up getting my license because it made sense. And I was doing that for a little bit. But then obviously when everybody was on lockdown, I was no different. And laying in my bed just online. And for some reason, I kept seeing like these girls online doing like whip butters. And I'm like, oh, that's wicked. I've never really seen that in Bermuda. So that's really where the idea came from. So I just got started to whipping. I did find somebody who does it here and I asked him, I was like, oh, like, would you make it for me? And I pay you to do it that way. And he was like, no, I'm like really, really busy. But he bought me a scale. He was like, go look on YouTube. And that like, no was the best thing that he could have did for me.
Wow. Because that kind of propelled the business.
It literally did. Like, yeah. Because it taught me to go make something, and then it means like, okay, I can make this, I can make that, I could. Yeah. I'm not waiting on anybody to produce for me.
So you started out with just the butters.
I started out with just the butters, because that was the first thing that really like caught my eye, and the shimmer butters, the shimmer oils. So that's where it came from, really, and then just like me having the background of the biology, the chemistry, it was almost like being in the lab. That's what I used to call it. Like I'm in the lab. And I was really excited. Yeah. It was something that I was like, excited by. I was waking up early. I was moving. I was staying up late. I hadn't had that before.
Yeah.
The excitement, excitement, that's the word.
For what you were doing.
Yes, literally.
Which is really good because
for sure.
you don't feel like you're working at that point. You're just enjoying what it is that you're doing.
Literally.
Yeah. Well,
even
really
to this
good.
day, it's like it takes my mind off of everything. And it's something to do. Like I could do it any day, all day.
That's really good.
Yeah, I know.
So during this Dove and Butterfly kind of like evolution, like I was just telling Lara earlier when we were talking about it, I was saying, you know, my first kind of introduction to Dove and Butterfly was a Hamilton Pharmacy release that you did, and it was like all these people outside waiting for it, and I was like, what are all these people doing outside? And then a few people had posted about it, and I think it was Chalet. She was like, oh my gosh, somebody's in line, I'm on my way to go get my Dove and Butterfly. I'm like, what is this Dove and Butterfly? And that's how I found out about it. So how did you get from, okay, someone gave me a scale, to, you know, all these people lining up around the corner at Hamilton Pharmacy?
I think that's most people's introduction. And I got asked this yesterday, how do I get from here to there? And none of it was overnight. Like Hamilton Pharmacy had stock from like September of the year before. It kind of sat there. You know, it was literally like moving like snails. Like, but to me at that point, like my focus was not a line wrapped around the store. Like I never even envisioned that. So I would say how I got from A to B was literally just being consistent, writing. I write everything down of what I want to achieve.
I know your list online. Yes, I see it all the time.
I literally write everything what I want to achieve down. I didn't write that down, but obviously growth was in there. And so I think a part of that's marketing. A part of that is prayer. A part of that is writing it down and doing the work. And believing that it's going to happen. You know, like when I first started, the goal wasn't what it is now. Like it was just, this is what I'm doing. I'm having fun and see what happens. Right. And so I would say that's the key right there. Pray, write it down, work toward it, improve.
Yeah.
And market.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it didn't, like, the formula for it didn't come up overnight. No, like, you did a lot of testing.
So much improvements. It's been so much improvements. Like, what it is then is not what it is now.
Yeah. So now you say you had a bit of, like, chemistry background and stuff like that, but, like, putting together something that people put on their bodies obviously comes with a lot of trial and error. So how did that process work?
I'm pretty much, like, I wouldn't say a perfectionist because I'm not. I will get it right when it gets right. Like, that was my thing. I just put it out there. And I got the feedback. Oh, this scent, I think it was a little too strong. So we reel it back in. Because obviously these things have percentages that they could go maximum. Maybe the maximum is not what the clients are wanting. So really it's kind of like, what was your question?
Like, how did you find the balance? Like, how the process worked for the balance of, like, the formula for the product?
Right,
like,
okay.
How did you get there?
Right. So most of it I looked it up online, like a recipe, and I tried it. Ingredients, I looked at what the girls online were doing. Like, I looked at literally their labels, and I'm like, okay, they're putting this, that. I would try this and that. This works great for me, and that's fine. You know, like a lot of them put more oils than I thought was necessary. So really it was just about like looking up a recipe, trying it out, getting it right. Because even with the whipping, it's like the different attachments make the texture different. The process, like at one point I was putting the fragrance in after it was whipped. And now I put it in once I melt it down. And it's like so much of a difference. So it's kind of like just learning and watching what works for you. And I had some trials and some money loss, like trying to figure it out. Stuff dropping and
oh gosh, just going everywhere.
Yes. And then like the beginning part, I think the hardest was keeping like enough product and that's why it was like almost like people thought I was intentionally doing the sellout. I literally had nothing else to sell.
Right.
You think I don't want to sell more? Like, you know, like it was literally a lack of me having what I needed. So
but it kind of worked though.
No, it worked. And I had no knowledge of like business, marketing, nothing. It did work.
Yeah, it worked.
And a lot of people thought it was intentional. And I'm like, you guys give me a bit too much credit. like you give me too much credit. Like,
yeah. No, I get that.
It did work.
In Bermuda, sometimes the not having access to something 24/7 helps with the sales of it. I think, because it's such an easy market to get saturated in. So that model, you know, next time somebody acts like, yeah, you know, I just thought it was great. No, I'm joking.
No. I didn't think that. But like even now, it's kind of like learning. Like selling out is not the goal. Mm-hmm. It was probably never my goal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
What was the goal, do you think, though?
I think the goal was to have, as like dove means peace, butterfly means change, evolution, like you say. Really, it was like people feeling that within themselves when they use it. Like they have skin problems, or, you know, maybe you don't have skin problems. You have self-care problems or self-love problems. So it's kind of addressing that. That was the goal, you know? And I was crying with somebody at one of my sniffing shops last year because it's like, I'm like, you're addicted. I'm not selling you nothing else. Like, you have not used what you have. Yeah. And then it's just like, no, like, you don't realize. Like, I have, like, depression and da-da-da. Whenever I use this stuff, this is what it brings me, and that's my goal.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have been crying too.
No,
thank you so much.
No, honestly. And it was just like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you feel what I feel, that is my goal. That's the goal. The fact that you can make money off it too is even better. But the goal is, you know, like get as many people feeling that from it as possible.
That's good. So what would you say has been like the most challenging being an entrepreneur?
I think the most challenging is that you don't really catch a break. So for me, it's like I'd be saying, okay, this week I'm going to take one day to just go sleep. I'm laying there and I can't sleep. Like I'm just got to be on my phone, got to be checking something, like, you know. I would say that's probably one of the most challenging. If I don't do it, it's not going to get done. Yeah. Some things. Because obviously I have people who like do things and they do it very well. But I think also it's kind of like when you're misunderstood as a business owner. Like obviously we don't really ever hear from Dove. We don't ever hear from these big corporations because the personality is separate. Yeah. I don't know who owns it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think kind of drawing that line is where I'm at. And I learned very, very quickly. So it's like, you won't catch me out, like making the same mistakes. So yeah, I would say that's probably the hardest part. Is like taking the criticism that's not always constructive. It's just like coming at somebody.
How do you handle that?
Well, I've handled it a lot of different ways in the past. I think most of us have all seen that, right? Maybe or maybe not. We don't have to talk about that, but yeah, like I've handled it one way that didn't work. I handled it another way that still didn't work. I've handled it one more way and I realized that didn't work. So my next way is kind of like I always say, like, I'm just going to be Beyonce. We don't hear from Beyonce. We don't hear about Beyonce. Beyonce addresses everything in her work. So it's kind of like in my promotions, I can address, you know, like Beyonce's like, y'all hate us corny with that Illuminati mess. Like
she never talks about outside of that. It's true.
So I'm gonna be having to address like maybe I address things in the way that I promote it versus like hearing directly from me. You're gonna know what I'm talking about, but it's not like you're not gonna hear from me.
Yeah. I can appreciate that, but I can also appreciate the different ways to respond. And, you know, we talk about this all the time on the podcast about when you're an entrepreneur, especially a newer entrepreneur, it's your whole identity, right? Like it's what you eat, breathe, and sleep every single day. So if someone's coming at you about your business or your staff, agreed, unprovoked, and they're coming at you, it's almost like they're coming after you, right? And being able to put that aside and say, you know what, this is the business, it's not necessarily me. That's hard to do. But what I loved about what you said is you were like, look, I've tried 4 different ways and that didn't work, right?
I'm going to try this last way.
This is last way.
It's probably still going to have
some type of effect.
Right. But I think it'll be the best way out of all the ways to address things.
But also, you also have to remember the average person will never understand what pressure it takes to be a full-time entrepreneur. And remembering that is also something that kind of helps you out. Like you want to defend, you want to do all those types of things, but sit in my shoes for a day and I promise you would have a different opinion.
But I think even further than that, it's like we all have lives that have challenges.
Exactly.
So really, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to appreciate the fact that you have your problems. This person also has their problems, whether it's personal, with their business. So it's kind of like having a humanity kind of approach and look at it like, this is a person, full stop. If you have a problem everybody could address their problems the way that they want, publicly, privately, whatever. But really, I'm learning is like my response to it is all the more of the difference.
Yeah.
And even my response, like if no response is going to be a response. Yeah. And so that won't be taken by some in some way, but.
Yeah. No, I get it. And you're absolutely right. You know, you sometimes responding can give a situation more life than not saying anything at all.
But then also, like, it was one time that I did respond in a way that was, I understand in hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have, but at the same time, it was just getting the message across that press is press.
Yeah.
Like, press is press. And although I don't want the negative press, it's like, it does make more people aware, and some people's gonna be like, oh, I want to try it, and then you get some people who may leave, and it's like,
it's kind of playing Monopoly a little bit, or chess, I think it's called. You play chess. Sorry, wrong game. Play chess with what works and what doesn't work. But the biggest thing, you said it earlier, is learning from those mistakes, right? And not making the same ones. And quickly. Yes. It's so true. It really is true. Quickly. Yeah. And like I always say, there's no manual for being an entrepreneur. Like, yeah, they can tell you how to get there, but daily life, getting through those things.
And I mean, like, even when we look at like the Rihannas of the world, remember Rihanna was clapping back all the time. And it's like for years. And when somebody like me want to clap back, it's a problem. But it's kind of like Rihanna, I see now, she would still do it here and there, but it's not who she's going to be known for. So that's where I'm at. Like, you're not going to know me for that.
Yeah.
So
I get that. Yeah. Yeah. And that comes with growth.
It does.
Yeah. And also your brand speaks for itself too, right? Like, sometimes because we're so close to it, that one bit of criticism is like defend. When you're just like, well, what percentage of the people who purchase my products actually think that way? Yeah.
And that's who I'm focusing on.
Yeah.
Because most of the people who do talk have never purchased.
Exactly. And just being haters. Yeah. And that's, they can't help it. They can't help it, girl. And so to now, what would you say you enjoy most about the entrepreneurial process for you?
Definitely freedom of time. Like, I just had a baby and I was able to like take the whole pregnancy off. And when I say off, I mean like not working like how I was before, but obviously I still have to like make sure little things are in line or whatever. But it's like the freedom of time, like, knowing that I could do whatever I wanted with my son for the most part, because obviously sometimes I just have to work. Yeah. But I think that's probably the best part. The freedom.
I agree. 100%.
It's a lot of work, but it is also quite worth it. Freedom that you don't always get. But then it's like, I'm not able to, like, like the difference is like you still don't get that much vacation time. You still don't get that much perks, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, because it's like if you don't do it, there's nobody to cover for you for the most part.
Still got to get done.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all the same. Yeah. Work is work then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just whether you love it or not, right?
Yeah. So thinking about the entrepreneur you are today and the business that you've built, the brand as well that you've built, how would you change that journey, if at all, for you?
Well, obviously, I think the journey is what takes you to where you are, right? So if you change that, you change the destination sometimes. And I don't know if I would change that. I guess, obviously, in hindsight, maybe, like I said, I wouldn't address certain things. But in terms of the overall journey, I think I played it pretty good. Like, I got lucky. Like, even when I, like, started hiring, I ain't had no problems with none of these lots.
That's good.
No, like, when I tell you no problems, like, I mean, low problems, but no, like, real problems. It's, like, nothing. Yeah.
That's good.
For real.
That's really good.
But I did literally what Steve Harvey always says. I literally, like, everything he said, write it down, make it plain, believe, work. He said when you make your first 100K, then you hire. I literally did everything.
Like Harvey said?
Yeah, and everybody else, like, if you look at a lot of other people's stories, they all say the same thing. They don't say nothing different. Like, it's like almost a blueprint. You just got to go do it. Yeah. In whatever it is that your gift is.
Yeah. No, I say it all the time. Like, being an entrepreneur right now is cool, right? Everybody thinks, they see everybody becoming an entrepreneur. It's like, oh, well, I could do that too. And they don't see the backside of it. Like, the person doesn't see you in the lab making everything for all that amount of time before you had staff, You know, yes, they see the dollars that you made and they assume those things, but they don't see that type of hard work, like rocking up to whatever park that was with all the product in your car and giving it to everybody. People don't see those types of things, right? So they just assume that they can do it.
But I try to be transparent, and I think my transparency has sometimes not been as beneficial to me, but I wouldn't change that still, because I know that at least somebody got something from that. Like, you never seen numbers before. We don't know how much entrepreneurs out here making to see if it's even viable for us to, you know what I mean? Like camera women, we don't know what they're making. I know what I'm paying you. You know what I mean? Now, but it's like, because you don't see it, people are often thinking that it's not livable or it's not attainable for you. Like, we know how much a doctor makes for the most part. We don't know how much a camera woman makes. We don't know how much somebody whipping some shea butter makes. So that was my intention in sharing those numbers. Is like, look, if you want to go make some lip gloss, make some popcorn, do it. Because you can make a living off of it. Like, that was the bottom line.
Do you think that was good or bad, you sharing those numbers? Not for you in terms of like people looking in.
No, I think it was good for people to see, because I think, like I said, the goal is to show people that being a doctor, being a lawyer, everything that this community has historically defined as successful is success, but you also have, you know, the ability to make money other ways and even be more happier doing it. So I think sharing the numbers was good, because I think, like I said, you got people who can see. Like, for example, I saw from Jada. I saw from Ari. I saw from the numbers. You know, the people who I was looking at in America. So if they could do it there,
you can do it there.
Yeah, why not? But because I had never seen nobody's numbers, I wouldn't have even thought that I could do something like this. And that's where the real estate, that's where the real estate thing was helpful for me, because I was seeing the numbers. I said, wow, so people do really live like this in Bermuda. The freedom, the money, all that. So it was like the path was perfect, because had I not seen the realtors numbers, I was probably not even in a position to see that I could do something the same in a different field.
That's good. No, I would have never thought of it that way, like from a real estate perspective in terms of the numbers.
I saw the numbers. I'm like, it was a no-brainer, you know. But then sometimes people's idea of success is not being a real estate agent. For whatever reason, whatever they've been brought up to believe, or whatever the case may be. But I'm like, damn numbers, everybody should want to go be a real estate agent. Like, you know,
it's true. I mean, I remember when I was doing it full time, I remember my grandfather said to me one day, he was like, you making a living?
You know what I mean? Like, all I gotta do is one transaction, pops. You know what I mean? Like,
he just didn't get it.
Right.
He didn't get it. Yeah. And then I kind of broke it down. My papa worked at tax commissioner for years, right? So I pulled up my Invoice to Go app and I just showed him, like, this is what and he was just like
shocked.
Whoa. He was blown away. You know what I mean? But until I showed him, to your point, the numbers, he was just like, you okay? Like, he was worried. He was worried about me.
Like, do I look okay? I mean, not even that, because looking one way and doing another's.
It also can be deceitful, but I get your point around it. But it's true. Entrepreneurship can be very lucrative, but you do have to work. You have to work. You got to work. You got to put the work in.
And then it comes with so much losses, because, you know, once you do show the numbers, you almost like, and I didn't know this beforehand, you open yourself up to scrutiny, payrolls looking.
Oh,
everybody's looking. You know what I mean? And it's fine, because I filed the way that I'm supposed to, but it's just like, sometimes it opens up unnecessary. But then it's like, whatever, because somebody's going to get it and they're going to learn from me.
Yeah.
Don't show your numbers. You know what I mean? Like, just tell people, and whoever's going to get it's going to get it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, sometimes, you know, you have to, what Beyonce said, stay in your struggle, crystal blue waters, or something like that. In other words, I'm living my life. You like to see what I'm doing and adjust and make the same type of decisions, or you can stay doing what you're doing.
Yeah. So obviously Dove and Butterfly, wildly successful. Everyone knows about it now. But in that same vein, you have a lot of other businesses that kind of pop up doing the same thing. Like, how do you feel about that?
I encourage it. I felt like when I was selling out, like, where is somebody else? It's demand. I can't meet it by myself. Like, where are you, right? But no, I encourage it. Like, I've had somebody offer to sell me their stuff. I'm discouraged or whatever. And I'm like, nah, if this is what you really would like to do, like, you got to push through that. You're going to be discouraged if you decide to go do something else tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stop. So it's like, yeah, I don't feel no way. And I don't feel like even if I've copied from people away, the style, it's what it is. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you could spin it yourself. You know what I mean?
And make it your own, for sure. 100%.
But I don't worry about that because, I mean, if you're looking to me, I'm already paved the way. Like, so I don't worry about that. Whatever's mine is going to be mine. Whatever's yours is going to be yours. And equally, it's like I've had 2 other businesses since that, and I've closed both of them down because it's like, that weren't for me. Somebody else could flourish in that arena. It's not mine.
Yeah. And that's important to know too, right? Like sometimes we push things that don't need to be pushed just because we want to do something else, and it's just not necessary, right? Like just focus on what I'm doing and do it well. Yep. Yeah. I agree. So how important was like your family's support during the process of entrepreneurship for you?
Like I said, I think when you come from a certain community, generation, their views are different. And so until you are in a place where people are coming up to them and, raving or whatever, they don't see it.
They don't get it.
Right. They don't get it. So I wouldn't say that mine was non-supportive, but I would say that, it wasn't until things were popping until it was kind of like, oh, you want me help you out get some jars or whatever, like
not some jars,
no, for real.
I get it.
For your birthday, I'll get you some jars, and it was just like, I don't got jars, thanks. I'm good, but you could pay for this photo shoot, thanks.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was like, I wouldn't say they was unsupportive, but I think that they had their idea of what success looked like for me that I didn't subscribe to. Yeah, that was initially for them like, waste all my money and
So I was just gonna say, like, you went to law school, you got called to the bar, and then you were just out. Like, literally, how were your parents and family like? How was that?
Well, I was offered a job immediately after being called, and I was just like, hey, thanks. And they was like, why don't you just try it out and see? No thanks.
So you just knew that that's not what you wanted to do.
I knew, and I knew that if I fell flat on my face, they would be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's just support.
Right. Exactly. I knew if I was flat out on my face, then it wouldn't be a situation where I'm literally flat out on my face.
Right.
But yeah, life is so short that I knew, and I had seen too many of what it looks like to be unfulfilled and unhappy, that I was not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I didn't care what it took. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have no child, so it was
a little different then.
Yeah, it was no pressure to. It's just me.
I love the fact that you just knew that this is not what I wanted to do.
Girl,
I don't think I could have done that.
I was offered a job out the courtroom.
That is crazy.
Literally called. No thanks. No thinking nothing. What do I want that for? Because I seen how unhappy a lot of them were, and I'm like, that's not for me.
That's true.
It shows. And because, I was looking at these other people away. I'm like, I'm trying to be living like life.
Yeah. And enjoying it.
All of that. And you can't tell me that I can't.
Yeah. So what does success look like for you in the long term as an entrepreneur? Is it staying just with Dove and Butterfly? Is it figuring out another business that may or may not work? Or what is long-term success?
Believe it or not, I'm not one of them who have like 5-year. I don't have them type of plans. I kind of like just do day by day. I mean, I plan out a little bit, but success in the future for me looks like what it does right now. And I know they say, what is it? More money, more problems. I'm okay to be like her. Like, I don't want to have problems. So that's my idea of success where I am now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into doing too much more. Like, I'm okay. Yeah. Obviously, that'll evolve maybe a little later on. But like, I'm got real estate, so I may do some, real estate type of stuff. But otherwise, like for now, I don't know what's next. Maybe it is Hollywood. But honestly, the way the life is now, it's like I feel like it's a film. So I don't know. Right now, I think it's like if it was like this, I'll be happy.
That's good though. That means that you're doing what you want and are meant to be doing. And like if you're still not aspiring to, and I'm not saying you're not aspiring, but like 5 years from now I want to X, Y, and Z. Like if you were content being where you are right now 5 years from now, that's successful to me. I think, in my very humble opinion.
I mean, obviously I'll definitely be doing more, and like, you know, maybe it looks like we're in Target or something like that. I keep saying Target because it's gonna happen, but I mean, you know, whatever's gonna come is gonna come. Target, I keep saying, I've said Target enough times, it's gonna come. I don't know if I wrote it down yet, but Target, yeah.
Well, we heard it here today.
Yes.
On February 12th.
Yeah.
2023, Dove and Butterfly will be in Target.
Yes.
I can't wait to pull this clip when it happens.
It will. It will. Yeah.
It'll happen. All right. So I guess as we kind of wind up and kind of focus a bit more on, you know, the future and those types of things, like what would be something, or who would you say kind of motivates you to kind of wake up every single day and like keep pushing?
Who?
Or what?
Oh, who or what? I was like, who? My baby. Aww. Obviously, you know, like he's so sweet. He's an angel boy. And yeah, like, I mean, it's him, but it's also like when you have gifts, it's beyond you, right? And so it's like, if I could reach somebody this way through this channel, then, you know, that's who and what I do it for. If somebody has like skin problems that they get relief from or feel good about because they use Dove and Butterfly, that's who and what, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's who and what. But the baby, obviously.
Yeah, there you go. That's a big one. Yes. Lovely.
And he was been rolling with me like pregnant. He was 1 week we was at the shop. Like, he knows.
Yeah. He's gonna be packaging up stuff real soon.
All of that. Yeah, he'd be grabbing the jars and stuff. I said,
they're
gonna need to pay more for this one. It's got your DNA. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Like and then that's another thing. I'm like, even people's like, oh, what do you want him to do? He's gonna do what he wants. But I could tell you one thing I ain't doing is I'm not paying for no doctor school, none of that. Like, I ain't paying for that.
That's what he wants to be.
He ain't gonna want to be that.
That's hilarious.
I ain't paying for all that.
Oh, goodness.
And then this generation, obviously, they're gonna have the benefit of like seeing people doing what they want on a more bigger scale.
And being
so
happy.
It's not gonna be a rarity that, you know, people are doing things that are not what they don't want to do.
I agree. I think you're absolutely correct. I think, you know, the generation of people having kids right now, their kids are going to know that it's okay to kind of do what you want to do.
And I don't even know, I can't even, like, I ain't trying to like come at the older ones, but I don't know. I don't know if it's so much that they didn't realize that, but I don't know if they like literally believed.
I think it's a bit of both. I guess our parents would have been like the first generation where they came right out of school, got good jobs. You know, their parents, the boomers, they like really worked, sacrificed. They probably didn't go off to university. They just worked really hard to provide for their kids. And then our parents were kind of like, and I'm assuming our parents are around the same age. And then that was a big assumption, but you know, and then our parents were kind of like, they're college educated, they have great jobs, and they allowed us a little bit of freedom, but it wasn't too much because you still need to go to school, get your degrees. Education was the most important. Like, I don't care what you do, even if it's basket weaving, like you're going to get this degree. You know what I mean? And I think us is going to be more so, I just want my kid to be happy.
Literally.
And to live life, and you know what I mean?
And they'll find their way.
Yes, and we're going to support them with whatever that is. But I think the generations kind of are giving their kids what they didn't have almost. I don't know either. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's maybe just with my family, but I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it. Yeah. All right. So, and then lastly, every guest, before they can leave the couch, what is something that you want to be remembered for when you're no longer on this earth and someone says your name? What is it that you want them to say about you?
I want them to say she was literally a sweet angel girl, always giving, whether that's knowledge, giving back my time. I want them to know like how good the heart was. And how intentful I was like in what I was doing and the legacy that I'm trying to leave behind, like not trying to taint that in any type of way. I want them to be like, she was a GOAT, like in that arena, but really period, in Bermuda, and then maybe in the future worldwide.
In Target.
Right? That's what I want to be known for. Like, I don't want to be known for anything other than that. Loving.
It's important.
Yeah, inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
A good mom.
Good.
Yeah, just be good.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's definition of good is different, but you know,
it's relative as well to kind of what you want to be good at. So kind of works like that.
Yeah. That's what I want to be known for.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
I think it was like a year in the making.
Yes, it's been, I think, longer than that. Really? I think the first time I reached out to you was when I was still doing audio. So that would have been 2020, 2021. So finally here. I'm on video this time. So
video, and I told you this may be my last one.
Yes, so there you go.
There you go.
Anyway, lovely. So if anyone wants to purchase Dove and Butterfly products, where should they go to find your products?
So you can find it online, doveandbutterfly.com. We have some at Braun & Co., the adult line, and then we have baby at Hamilton Pharmacy. Nice. Yeah, and sometimes we have, like, you know, if the doors open down the shop, then you could come in.
Okay, so people can actually come down to the shop, and that's where is the shop located?
Old Double Soul Aquarium, so 92 Harrington Sound Road. We have a sign up, so if the door's open, then we're open, but because we don't really have straight hours, it's kind of like, but if your door's open, come through.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And guys, we just want to thank Miss Dove and Butterfly for being with us here today. If you want to purchase Dove and Butterfly, make sure you head over to doveandbutterfly.com and you can purchase all of their products there. And then you can definitely head over to Braun & Co. and then as well as Hamilton Pharmacy. As always, thank you so much for joining me here on the podcast today. Make sure you like this episode. You also subscribe to the channel and make sure you head over to the website hustlehardpodcast.com to learn some more information about my lovely guest, as well as sign up for our VIP list to receive all of our information ahead of time. And once again, thank you for watching Hustle Hard Podcast.